Very happy to be joined once again by the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, for this week's game preview presented by Ticketmaster. And Coach, the Raiders come in at 6-7. They've been up and down of late, but this is still a very dangerous team on offense. Derek Carr completes a high percentage of his passes. Hunter Renfrow is on an unbelievable tear. They can move and score the football.
It's a really good team, and you mentioned that offense starts with the quarterback. He's got incredible arm talent. He can make every throw. They love to air it out. They love to throw it deep down the field. So a lot of their concepts are always going to start with somebody deep and he'll work his way down. But they have multiple weapons on the outside. They have speed on the outside. They have size at tight end. They have a really good running back who can play on all three downs. Hunter Renfrow is a guy that I have a ton of respect for. He finds ways to win in the slot over and over and again. Very dependable, savvy, quick, great run after the catch. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. That's a challenging offensive attack. So it really requires us to lock in on our jobs, lock in on what we need to do to get it done.
How different are they from a year ago? From an outsider's perspective, it feels like maybe they're more pass-oriented than they were run a year ago, and they're maybe not as big up front in terms of those road graders that they had on that offensive line. Because I remember they came here a year ago, and that was bad conditions like they may be again on Saturday. They ran for over 200 yards and were just so physical in that one. But they seem a little different this year.
They are different. It's the same scheme, different play caller, 4 new offensive linemen from last season. But they are winning with throwing the ball around the yard. I mean, that's what they're doing. That's what they can do well. They're doing it at a high level. It's a very, very explosive run attack. Having said that, they're a good rush attack as well with the runner that they have, with the schemes that they have, with the conditions as you alluded to, what they might be. We got to be ready to defend the run and the pass.
Yeah, Carr, 5 games over 300 yards passing already this season. Let's flip to their defense, and they've struggled against the run a little bit this year. They've struggled on third down. They've struggled in the red zone, the worst red zone defense in the NFL. But they can get to the quarterback with those 2 edge rushers, Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby. And for a team that's going into it without your top tackles, that presents a challenge. How do you answer this Gus Bradley, cover 3 defense that likes to get home with 4 and has 2 guys who really can get there?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Gus Bradley does a great job. We've gone against him when he was at the Chargers. Was a great coordinator for Seattle. Played him in Jacksonville. So understand his attack, understand the rules of their attack, and really has a lot of similarities to what we do. And they have 4 rushers that can really pin their ears back. So we have to be mindful of that, like you mentioned. So as we devise the game plan, as we put guys around the formation, what we ask them to do specifically for those 2 defensive ends will be unique to this game plan, because you have to account for them. It's going to be very difficult to just keep them off the stat sheet because they're 2 great players, but we certainly have to be aware of them at all times.
Is this a game where you kind of say the onus, and I know there's a lot of change on the offensive line for this one, but where you say, look, the more physical team is going to win this game, and we need to impose our will on this defense?
Yeah, potentially, but you say that every week in the NFL. It really is a physical game. What the guys put their bodies through during the game and then they get ready for the game is so impressive to me. So whatever it takes on Saturday, if it's you got to throw it, you got to stop the run, you got to run it, whatever it is, that's what we have. That's what we're charged with doing.
When you talk to the guys, it's find a way, right? You still have a ton of talent as of the time of this interview, and hopefully, knock on wood, it stays true until Saturday, available to you. Guys who have made massive plays. We talked about Denzel, Miles, Clowney against the Ravens, just what they did. Is this one of those games where you tell your guys, especially your stars, and you're blessed to have many of them, guys, let's go. This is a game for you to put this football team on your back and make this happen?
I mean, I think in a lot of ways, the guys you mentioned, we're always counting on them. We need them to show up and do what they do. I have high expectations for all of our players, but certainly the guys that make big plays and we know who they are. Yeah, we're counting on them, and I think they embrace that.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Hope to see you at First Energy Stadium on Saturday. If not, hope that you continue to feel well and this team does exactly what you've coached them to do, find a way to get a huge win against the Raiders.
Thanks, Nate.